Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Hey Sara Sara. My name is Sally Raja, and I'll be your host. Hey Sara Sara is a multidisciplinary podcast where I sit down with students, founders, creators, and changemakers to explore the stories, passions, and ideas behind what they do. Today, we're joined by Faaezah, an incoming junior robotics leader and the founder of the Coding 8 Layer. We're an initiative dedicated to making computer science more accessible and engaging for younger students. Through her work, she leads an international team and creates hands-on coding experiences that help students discover their passion for technology. Beyond the Coding 8 Layer, she's heavily involved in robotics, machine learning, and STEM leadership, serving as a robotics captain and ML club vice president. Today, we'll be talking about leadership, technology, accessibility in STEM, and what it's like building meaningful projects at a young age. We're so excited to have you here. Welcome to the podcast, Faiza.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm also very excited to be here.
Okay, great. So let's start with the first question. Can you introduce yourself and tell us how you first became interested in computer science and robotics?
Hi everyone, my name is Faiza. I am a passionate computer scientist based in Austin, Texas. My journey in computer science and robotics actually started when I moved from London to Austin 2 years ago, about like midway through eighth grade. And I think when I moved there, it was so hard to fit in. Everyone was speaking like a foreign language, obsessing over the latest Stanley Cup, the latest Gen Z slang, and I felt like I couldn't fit in. And I think that time I spent towards tinkering with like random stuff. And through the random tinkering, through random Google searches, I found my passion for computer science. I started coding, making video games, doing lots of random things. And I think when I was doing that, I found my love for computer science and I wanted to find a community where I can help to grow that passion in computer science. That's why I wanted to join a robotics team, and that's kind of how I kickstarted my journey in robotics.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know you were from London. That's like a whole different country. How was the experience? Like you probably felt like a lot of cultural changes, like you said, right? Like how was that? Like was it really like different for you?
It was hard for sure because I think it was really hard because you leave. I've been living in London since I was born, like for 13 years, and when you go to like a whole different country, you have to make new friends, new social circles. You have to meet your teachers. You have to meet new teachers. It was very hard for me, especially at that age, because I was a very quiet kid and I wasn't very like social and outgoing. So it was just a bit hard for me at that time. It was a whole different experience for me. But I'm glad I moved to Austin. There's lots of amazing people, and I'm glad that I have met you at school this year.
That's so cool. Okay, so you wear a lot of different hats. You're robotics captain, ML club VP, and you're a founder. So out of all your experiences, what first sparked your passion for tech?
I think the first thing that sparked my passion for tech was again like my random tinkering in eighth grade, but also robotics has a major part of why I wanted to continue doing in tech. People always say that coding is just like people always say coding is important for like learning and doing things, but they don't really emphasize how coding is important for like the actual community. When I was working in robotics and seeing how my code was actually helping my team and like doing so many cool stuff like autonomous movements, which is where the person doesn't control with an actual controller. I saw that how I can use that to help other people. Like I start to get ideas about how I can use my robotic skills to make like something that can help elderly people have easier times at the homes. And I've been very inspired to use my robotic skills in future projects. I'm currently working on a future project right now. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of what sparked my first interest in technology.
I really like that. I really like how you said that technology can be used for good because I have a personal project. I raise awareness about hot car deaths. So when you leave your child or pet too long in a hot car, and I had the same idea and concept that you like using technology for good. So I made a reminder app that like reminds you to check your vehicle. So I really like how you think that technology can be used for good because a lot of people think it can't. Like it's just like AI is just bad and stuff. But I love how some of us can think that it can be used for good and looking forward to hearing more about your other project in the future. Okay, so let's talk about the Coding Atelier. So what inspired you to start it and where did the name come from?
Okay, so the Coding Atelier was started when I'm Indian by like nationality as well. So when I go to India every summer to go to my grandparents, and my grandparents come from a slum area in India. So when I go there, I try to engage in charitable work. And one day when I was going to give charity, give food packages to underprivileged communities in India, I I was talking to the children, asking them what they want to do in the future, what are their aspirations. But one thing that one of the girls said to me, honestly, like took me very hard. Like I asked her, "What do you want to be?" And she said, "I want to be a computer scientist, but I don't think I can ever be one." And I was like, "Why? Why? What happened?" And she said to me, because of her parents' financial situation, she could never. She thought she could never become a computer scientist. That took me really hard because it's not just her. There are thousands, if not millions, of students like her in underprivileged communities who are given the myth that you need to have fancy, expensive computers to start to learn computer science. And I wanted to try and make a difference for that. That's why I made the organization to help children like her have an access to computers because it's not that they're not capable of computer science, of learning. It's just that they never have been given the resources. That's why me and my team, we try to help different areas of the community by giving refurbished laptops and like code kits by trying to make coding more accessible and try to make an impact. And the Coding Atelier's name actually comes from a belief that I have. Like, if you know what atelier means like an art workshop or like creativity. And I think coding is an art. I don't think coding is just some generic typing and writing on a screen, right? So I wanted to try to mix that and blend the idea of coding and art because coding is its new, I think, especially with the emergence of AI, it's such a like vivid art experience. That's why I wanted to name my organization the Coding Atelier.
I love that. I love that. That's such a unique name. I've actually never heard of that word, so I didn't know that it actually had a definition to it. That's really cool. Okay, so next question. So one thing that stood out to me was your focus on accessibility, right? So why is making technology more accessible so important to you?
I think it's because I saw firsthand about like how people like how that girl in particular was like struggling or like she was it's not that she wasn't capable. I hate the fact that she felt like she couldn't do something because of her financial background because I think I could have been that girl, right? I'm very fortunate to have grown up in London and in Austin to have those resources. But if I was that girl, I don't know how I would have felt if I was in her footsteps right now. And I think that kind of took me and I want to help other people like that. I think community the way that we've grown this fast is actually because we've been helping each other and I want to be part of that movement because I want to help other people also have like better access to computer science and tech because just because I have it doesn't mean that I should forget about the people who do not unfortunately have access to them. I want to be part of that movement.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you lead a team with members in different countries. So what's been the most interesting or challenging part of managing an international team?
This is a good question. So my team is in the Netherlands as well as London, and America has a huge time difference between these other countries, right? So whenever I'm planning something, I need to like really think about, okay, how is this gonna affect people from the different time zones? It is a bit hard to get things sometimes scheduled because of the huge time difference, but yeah, that's the main thing. That's kind of difficult to do, but hopefully we get it. We're getting around it.
That's good. It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
Okay. And so was there a moment when you realized, wow, the coding outlier is actually making an impact?
Yes. So my coding atelier, we haven't been we're a new started community initiative. We launched approximately in October 2025. And within a couple of months, like we started to raise $1,000 and we also started to host our first community like a community setting where we helped underprivileged kids in Austin by teaching them screen free coding. And through that we've gotten so many more like recommendations for next classes. I think within a couple of months, that's a huge achievement. I think raising $1,000 is no small feat, especially in the couple of months that we had. And also, like parents were super happy. We got so much good feedback, and honestly, like feedback really like push me to keep going, and that's why I'm still working on a couple of things.
I love that. Yeah, I 100% relate. Like, feedback does give you like that motivation to keep going because you know that your efforts are being recognized. So I
Yes.
completely understand that. Okay, so you mentioned you sometimes take too much on yourself. So how have you learned to balance leadership with asking others for help?
So how I balance this is I try to delegate more tasks more equally. I think in the past I have taken too much on my plate that leads me to feeling burnt out. And I think the biggest killer of so many young community initiatives is that burnout kind of just ruins everything. And the oath that I made with myself when making the coding interior is that I'm actually want to bring it forward. I want to make it sustain for longer, not just for this year or next year, but like for future generations to come. So I try to delegate tasks more efficiently with my team. My team's amazing, so they help with other different aspects of the stuff. And honestly, delegation has honestly helped me to reach out, communicate more, and not take too much on myself.
I love that. Yeah, 100% relate. As high schoolers, being burnt out is like it's so easy to get burnt out, especially with balancing like school and everything. So I love that. I love that. Okay, so you told me that you received a recognition like the NCWIT Aspirations in Computing Rising Star Award, right? What did that achievement mean to you personally?
This honestly like made me feel that I I deserve to like I feel recognized for my efforts in STEM. Like I feel happy and I feel like recognized for being able to make a effort. Like I it gave me like fuel to keep going and keep pushing harder in computer science and keep working. It's really nice to have some like outside type of like approving and like recognition. Honestly, it just serves as fuel to help me keep going in computer science.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so we're gonna go into a fun segment next. So if you could build any technology with unlimited resources, what would you create?
I would try to build a cybersecurity type of platform that helps like the like average digital American citizen have access to it. I did research when I was in my freshman year about how like different security algorithms, so like different ways that you can protect your computer and your devices work because I think in the 2024 year there was a huge data breach of social security numbers being leaked, and honestly, that was really hurtful to me because so many people were affected, right? So when I was doing the research, I found that this, like the code segment and the algorithms, those weren't like super friendly to the average American person because they required such a heavy amount of knowledge that you needed to know. And most people don't know computer science, are not proficient with it. So my goal is to make like this algorithm that can be on your computer and like help you make good cybersecurity choices to come to like protect your computer from like fraud or like any cybercrime in general.
I love that. Yeah, I'm also interested in cybersecurity, so I love that you said that because that's something I would do that too. So I love that. Okay, and what's a piece of technology you think everyone should learn more about?
I think it's machine learning. Machine learning is basically going into AI. I think AI is shaping a huge part of like where we are right now. So I think you don't have to be an expert at it, but if you know like a small or like just a little bit about it, you would be understanding our world better. I think. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, AI is like everywhere. It's better we learn about it. Okay, so looking ahead, where do you hope the coding atelier will be in the next few years?
However, the Coding Atelier will have expanded its reach, hopefully get through more countries. The aim is to get about like 55 countries. Hopefully in a few years we can get that. Right now we have like 3 or 4 countries. Hopefully we can expand globally, more globally. And we can also like make sure that it's sustained and we can help more people and make a huger impact.
Okay, great. And if there's a student listening who's interested in technology but doesn't know where to start, what would you tell them?
Um, I was I was actually at a Girls Empower Her like empowerment thing yesterday, and and I'm gonna say the same thing I said there. I would say like don't let other people define on what you can or what you can't do because everyone is everyone has different skill sets and everyone is equally as capable. Don't let other people define what you can or can't do. Stand up for yourself, work hard. Going into STEM is not easy. That's the bare bones fact of it, right? But if you keep working harder, if you keep putting the effort in, And if you stay curious and start tinkering, like I did, for example, I started tinkering, being curious, doing random stuff, learn side hustles, you will find your love for something in STEM. And I think you should just stay curious, believe in yourself, and work hard towards it. And I think you will get what you want out of STEM.
That's a beautiful message. I love that. Before I founded my project, I never really like I was into computer science, but I never really knew what I wanted to do in it specifically. But once I found out that I could actually like help people, which I really love to do, I really liked that I could connect computer science with that. So I love your message, and I think a lot of people might could take that. And I loved all your responses today. So thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your story. It's been a pleasure learning more about your journey in computer science, your passions, and the work you're doing to make a difference. And to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor to talk with you today.